By now, we have all of the numbers. Ravnica Remastered has dropped, and, well, there hasn't been a ton of fanfare. But I'm here to tell you, the set is more than just the financial value of the box and the number of products being opened. In fact, I myself am collecting a bunch of stuff from this product and things I think you're really going to enjoy too. So I want to let you in behind the curtain on the things I am collecting from Ravnica Remastered, and I want to talk about this because I'm collecting things that really satisfy any budget and any reason for collecting, because I feel like maybe I'm a bit crazy. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. When I talk about collecting, those who have been around the channel for a while know that I approach it from several different perspectives. Yes, as a collector of Magic the Gathering, I do like to pick up products that I think are going to go up in value over time. Now, that being said, nothing that I say in this video is financial advice. I can't believe I still have to say that. But that's not the only aspect of collecting that I indulge in. In fact, something I've talked about several times on this channel are little mini collections that I have built for myself that just remind me of fun things that I did or have done in Magic the Gathering, and it's something that really holds a special place in my heart. So in today's video, not only am I going to talk about things that I think will have a chance to go up in value and be good to add to your Magic the Gathering collection, but I'm going to talk personally about some very fun things that I found in this set that I'm adding to my collection and tell you why. But without further ado, it's time to head over to TCG Player, and like any good video, we need to start with probably the most popular topic, and it's no secret that Shocklands are the front and centerpiece of this product, and I am choosing personally to collect the retro foil Shocklands. Yes, the retro frame foil versions of these cards rather than the borderless or the standard versions, which again will be very cheap, and actually we see them coming down in price. If you like talking about price and the value of products and stuff like that, make sure you're subscribed. To do a ton of that here as we track every single sold listing of sealed product on TCG Player. But the retro frame foil Shocklands are something that I think we're a bit put off by right now, and let me explain. Retro frame, when it first came out, was something that was awesome. We loved to check these cards out, and there were new retro frames kind of catching our eyes very rarely. But now retro frame is something Wizards of the Coast, it's a well that we dip into quite often, and while I still believe it's a wonderful version of the cards that we see, I don't know if we're ever going to slow down on doing it. So for that reason, I think these are set to come down in price. And so while I don't think I'm ready to pounce yet as of the recording of this video, yes, this video is recorded on the release day of Ravnica Remastered, I am going to constantly watch these cards for value. Now, some of these are already sitting down. I believe if we find a Temple Garden, it's the lowest price retro foil Shockland. It's sitting around $15 right now on TCG Player, meaning you could probably get one cheaper in person through a little negotiation, a little haggling, maybe a little trade from the trade binder, things like that. But I do expect these to continue to go down. But I say that with a caveat. We have not opened much of these, and yes, more on these later, but because we haven't opened a ton of them, and because maybe conspiracy theory time, it's a little short printed, we might not see a ton of that available. So I have to watch these closely because I don't want to miss in case they happen to bounce up. I don't think that'll happen. It's very rare that ever happens with the Magic product, let's be clear. I think these are going to continue to come down, but I expect to collect some of these. Now, I am staying away from the borderless versions of these cards, and the reason I want to stay away from the borderless or the new art version is that I could see Magic the Gathering making more and more cards look like that style. They've really leaned into the anime theme over time. We see a ton of anime stuff. We've seen a ton of borderless stuff in the set, just kind of looking at some creatures. But the retro frame is not only something that speaks to me, but it could be a fad that I see Wizards of the Coast moving off of as the rest of the community kind of moves on from it and really has the interest in the borderless and the commander frame and the confetti foils and the anime and stuff like that. I think I could see Wizards of the Coast pulling back from this. And again, total speculation on my part, but for that reason, and just from personal preference, I like the retro foils. But that's kind of the duh, right? Like, that's the boring part. What else am I collecting from the set? Also, these are just expensive cards. Well, there's a ton of cards in this set that are not expensive, that I think I cannot, well, I know I cannot wait to add to my collection. I really think you can and might want to as well, and I'm going to outline the reasons here. But before we do, I do want to point out that I am selling box openings. I have 4 slots left for channel members, $249, everything shipped to your door within the continental United States of America. That's right, I am selling at a cheap rate. Why? Because I like to give back to my channel members. So if you want a box opening, you're a channel member, you can email me at hometowntcg@gmail.com. But it's time to talk about what I think is the most interesting section of this video, and that's the cheaper collectibles. And I want to start here with something like a Boreal Grazer, and this card hits so many just alarms in my head of things that I want to collect. It's highly playable across a ton of formats. It's iconic. When this thing came out, everyone wanted to play it. It has a retro frame version, which looks good in foil. You don't just have to get the standard one. With a community like Magic the Gathering, you're never going to do the indie TCG thing where you buy out a large enough portion of them that matters and changes the price of the market. Trust me, I know. I have thousands at this point of gilded foil charms from Streets of New Capenna around my studio just because I like them, and I can tell you the price has not changed. But a Boreal Grazer is something that I think is an iconic card, and in the retro foil, I think it's a really cool version of that card that will be remembered fondly. I'm going to watch this come down in price as things get released, and I think this is a really sweet pickup that I can't wait to add to my collection. Moving on, Muddle the Mixture. Everyone, what? What is this card doing? Muddle the Mixture is such a cool Magic the Gathering card. First of all, you're going to get that retro foil blue. It's the retro foil blue. There's something about it. It's a beautiful piece of cardboard. And more than that, it's a card with an incredible effect. Transmute was a mechanic that when it dropped, shook the Magic the Gathering earth to its foundation. It was so much fun to play, and cards like this will always have a special place in my memory. This one is definitely on the list for me, but it also suffices as a cool pickup for people who like to play kitchen table Magic, people who like to play open commander formats and fun things with their friend. Muddle the Mixture, I think, is a great pickup, and I cannot wait to add these to my collection. I could not believe the retro frame foil price of this card. It reminds me just playing some standard decks back when Muddle the Mixture first dropped. I was like, oh my god, this card is so much fun. This is a lot of, and for that reason, something similar, a similar reason, Mayhem Devil. Mayhem Devil, a part of a ton of iconic Magic the Gathering strategies over time. It is a card that will always hold a special place in my heart, and I don't think I'm the only one. Big shout out Rakdos Sack players. Most of you are absolutely insane. I'm sure you're going to love your new retro foil Mayhem Devils, and yes, I will be picking these up as well. But it's not just these crazy kind of highly played cards that fit a ton of strategies. Shattering Spree is a really cool card, and while it doesn't see a lot of play in a lot of formats, it is a wonderful sideboard piece, and I'm sure it has a ton of commander viability, and for that reason I think it fits kind of that same mold of just like an iconic version of a card to pick up, and it might be the coolest version of Shattering Spree on the market right now. Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong on that. Furthermore, there are cards that are just iconic and just speak to Ravnica's timeline. Really just give off, it's giving Ravnica, if you will, if I'm going to use a phrase that's way too young for me. Oh god, my back hurts just saying that. These next couple cards are something that just like, I see these cards and I think Ravnica, and because of that, to mark the release of this product and kind of really lean into the collectability of this product at a various price point, I'm going to pick up some of these. The first is Lightning Helix. I know, look at me, I know that this is coming out in Murders of Karlov Manor. I understand that. I got you. You have been heard. However, this card looks great. It just screams Ravnica to me. I am definitely at least picking up a place that this is not one I expect to see go up in value. Lightning Helix has not exploded in popularity or will not probably become more playable. It has more or less been priced out of its value space in most strategies, but I love it and I can't stop, and for that reason I'm picking up Lightning Helix and Putrefies. Putrefies are the epitome of just something that screams Ravnica to me, but has been powered out, is not the most popular card in the world anymore. I love me love me. You hear me? I love me some Putrefy. And I want to express and really just stress that a lot of this section of the collecting conversation is about what speaks to you. If Putrefy is not your jam, if Lightning Helix isn't your jam, there are things that are just like, oh, I remember a play with that card, or remember playing this, and it's a wonderful opportunity to pick them up and add them to your binder. Heck, I have recently made, maybe one of the worst purchases I've made in some time, I picked up Ravnica Remastered foil Birds of Paradise. Spoiler alert, I knew that the other Birds of Paradise in Ravnica Remastered was coming up. I know that these aren't going up in value, but every time I look at them in my binder, a little playset sitting there across the top row of one of the pages, I get a little bit happy, and it speaks to me, and that is the same vein that Putrefy will be in for me. It's something that I will look at and always be like, wow, why is this dollar card, this 50-cent card in my binder? Oh yeah, I just like it. Now, a card with more viability that I actually think is a bit undervalued at this point is Izzet Charm. Izzet Charm is actually legal in a lot more formats than you think it is, and it is a versatile card. Now, versatility when it comes to a lot of these collector pieces is key, because Magic the Gathering, it's a game first, and playability of cards builds them up to be more collectible. Yes, there's a million versions of Izzet Charm out there. You can always find one for so cheap, but I think the retro frame foil version of the Izzet Charm is a wonderful place to start, picking up some playable collectible cards, and I personally cannot wait to pick them up. But after that, I just want to talk. I want to take a second, break away from the retro frames, and talk about this card. Utopia Sprawl is such an incredible Magic the Gathering card, and to see foil Utopia Sprawls at 27 cents screams to me a wonderful chance to add some of these more than just to a collection, but to a group of cards that I want to have when I'm deck building. Sometimes you just need Utopia Sprawls, whether you're playing Commander, whether you're playing a 60 card format, or any other way that you play Magic the Gathering. Sometimes you just need Utopia Sprawls, and I am so excited to see them foil and this cheap. And for a similar reason, look at the price of Arklight Phoenix. Retro frame foil Arklight Phoenix is coming in at $4. If you have not played a Spellslinger Arklight Phoenix strategy before, you need to try it. Put a deck together and give this archetype a try, and let it be headlined by these beautiful, deep red toned Arklight Phoenixes. I am so excited to see these out there. I have regular foil Arklight Phoenixes. I gotta tell you, they're more expensive. I might just be replacing them. With these cards, because I think they're going to look so good in my Pioneer deck. I cannot wait. I think this is a wonderful pickup. And the final slot is an iconic collectible from the history of Magic the Gathering. However, before we go here, if you haven't yet, you like this video, you had any amount of fun on this channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. We are racing to 7,500, and then it's onward and upward to 8K. Yes, we come to you in 4K, and we are searching, seeking, trying to find 8K subscribers, so make sure you click that button. And finally, Barbarrigos Enraged, and this one is just because of the Magic the Gathering tournament where Pithing Needle named the wrong copy of Barbarrigos, not Barbarrigos Enraged. It was an iconic tournament moment. It actually changed the rules of Magic the Gathering and how these tournaments are judged and how the card Pithing Needle is played. This card is part of Magic's iconic history, and to see foil versions of this card in this frame looking this good, this beautiful for that price, I gotta get myself at least one, because every time I see it, it's something that makes me smile. And I encourage you to find something like this that just tells your Magic the Gathering story, whether it's this set, whether it's the next set, or one beyond it. It's more than financial value. What we do, we talk about the sealed value of this product, we talk about sales data all the time on this channel, but it's important to remember we are Magic the Gathering fans first. We all have a story of how we came into it, and we enjoy this game on a daily basis, and I encourage you to showcase that with the cards that you pick up, not just the cards that you think are going to go up the most in value. Have a little fun and pick up something for yourself. And If you want to pick up one of these collector boxes, have it opened on the channel, remember you can email me at hometowntcg@gmail.com. We will get you suited and booted. We got 4 more slots open. Thank you so much for hanging out today. If you've never shared a Hometown TCG video, now's a better time than ever. Click that share button and we will see you around. All right, goodbye.